Hello and welcome to episode 3 of my video diary series with the Alfa Romeo Giulia Veloce, and today I'm going to tell you how much it costs to buy and run this car for an average person. So that's not how much it costs in cash up front, because nobody buys a car like that anymore, but it's how much leaves your bank account every month if you were to buy and run this car. So it won't be a particularly exciting video, but it will be useful. Now, before I get into it, don't forget to subscribe to the Parker's Cars channel, turn your notifications on, and check out our other videos on this car because there's also some useful stuff in there too. Right, first off, let's figure out how much it costs to actually buy the car. Well, I'm just going to grab my notes for this section because I'm never going to remember all those figures off the top of my head. I can barely remember the car registration plates. Right, if you were to get a base Alfa Romeo Giulia Veloce without options, this car's got a couple of options, but if you get one without options, it's £43,799 in cash. If you were to use Alfa Romeo's PCP finance program with the following terms, which is a deposit of 5k, 12,000 miles a year, 36-month term, and 3% APR, you also get a deposit contribution from Alfa Romeo of £1,250. That then works out at £619 per month over that 36-month period, with an optional final payment of £18,373. So the total sum to you is £46,287, which is £2,488 more than if you'd paid for the car in cash. You still following? Good. Obviously though, that's only half the story, because there's other things that you need to consider when you're buying a car or running a car, such as insurance. And for that purpose, I've used my alter ego, Ken Dennis, to get a quote. So, unlike me, Ken is 40 years old, he lives in Peterborough, he's got a clean license, 10 years no claims, his car's parked on the street, it's used for social, domestic, and pleasure and commuting, and the result is £974 annually, which is actually quite a lot. Don't know why it's that much, but I used a couple of comparison sites to get that, so the figure should be accurate. Fuel, well, I took the 32 mile per gallon average figure that I'm getting with this Giulia Veloce, and then I calculated that over 12,000 miles for the average fuel price at the moment, which is actually pretty steep. Then it's £2,574 a year. Yeah, more than you think. Servicing, I used Alfa Romeo's upfront service plan, which is £699, and that covers you for the 3 years of the finance term. Finally, road tax, well, first year's included in the on-the-road price, but from year 1 to 5, there's a hefty surcharge because this car costs over £40,000, so that comes in at £490 per year for, in this instance, year 2 and 3. So, all in, including the 5k deposit and the service plan, the first year comes in at £16,675, while the second and third year are £11,466 each. And crucially, the really important number there is £1,390 and £955 per month. Those are the magic figures, and those are how much it'll cost to run this car every month in years 1, 2, and 3. So now you know. Now I know that's a lot of numbers, and as I said, it isn't that exciting, but it is interesting, I hope. And it's about to become more interesting because I'm going to take all those figures, I'm going to compare it to one of this car's rivals, namely a BMW 330i M Sport. Now, we haven't got a 330i M Sport here today because it seemed a bit much to get one for just about an hour's filming, but you'll have to imagine that this is a 330i M Sport for the moment and the figures are above the right car. But anyway, hopefully it makes sense. We're going to use the same finance terms as we did for the Alfa Romeo, so it's a £5,000 deposit, it's a 36-month term, it's 12,000 miles a year, and the APR is actually a little bit higher with BMW's PCP program, it's 3.9%. But you do get a bigger finance deposit contribution, which is £2,016 with the BMW. Odd amount, but yeah, it's about 750 quid more than the Alfa Romeo. If you put all that into the calculator, it comes out at £568 per month for the 330i M Sport, with an optional final payment of £17,500 £42,547, and that makes the total sum £42,471, which is about £1,000 more than if you're lucky enough to be able to pay in cash. The other figures, they're not actually too dissimilar. The real-world fuel economy figure for the BMW, I obviously haven't got that as reliably as I have for the Alfa Romeo, but a bit of research and chatting to my colleagues suggests it's around mid-30s. So that's what we're going to go with for the BMW. The tax is exactly the same because it's also over 40 grand. The insurance, very comparable, £980, using the same parameters as I did with Ken Dennis and his social, domestic and pleasure. All in, that's about £15,384 for the first year of ownership on the 330i M Sport, dropping to around £10,874 for the subsequent 2 years thereafter, or £906 a month, which is about £45 a month less than the Alfa Romeo. So what are we talking, £540 a year less? Something like that. So finally, if you're interested in the overall totals, I make that £39,607 for the Alfa and £37,132 for the BMW if you hand the cars back after 3 years and you don't take up the option to buy with the balloon payment. If you complete the purchase and you pay that balloon payment, then it's £57,980 for the Alfa Romeo and £54,679 for the BMW, which does mean that the Alfa Romeo is a couple of grand more expensive in both instances, and that's pretty much all down to the manufacturer PCP deal. I mean, the insurance, the tax is the same, the fuel economy, okay, it's a little bit better on the BMW, but not too much. It does just come down to that PCP deal that you get on the cars and how much they work out of being worth after the end of that 3 years. So yeah, the Alfa Romeo, it hasn't disgraced itself here, but the BMW, it is cheaper.
So there you go. That's how much it'll actually cost you to run an Alfa Romeo Giulia Veloce for 3 years on PCP, assuming nothing goes wrong. Tune in next time where I'll be providing another detailed update on my experiences with the Giulia Veloce.